Yes, you could.
That'd be really cool. All right, now we're going to jump into something that is brand new. This is the 1866 to 1883 Shield nickel 5-cent coin. So this is a little bit about history. So I know the history of this, but I've literally never seen one in person.
Yeah, well, this is, I mean, these were only made in the 1880s, basically, is what it was. And it was really interesting because we don't have an eagle on it. We don't really have, you know, Lady Liberty on it. We don't have anything else. It's like a really basic coin. It's a shield that you see right there. And this particular one, I'm going to pick this up, see what the date is on this one. This one is 1867. So these are almost all of these are just post-Civil War. One of the crazy things about the Civil War, other than the, you know, all the Civil War stuff, was the fact that all of the money in the United States got hoarded. So there was no pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars. There was nothing anywhere. It was everything was just trade because there was no money. And so the United States rushed to try to get some money into circulation. Now at the time we were spending like half dimes, which were actually they were made out of silver.
Yeah.
And then we were making 3-cent silver coins that were all through this. These started be calling nickels because it was the first real 5-cent coin that had nickel in it. And so this was the first nickel. That was actually a nickel. Prior to this, there was lots of 5-cent coins, but they were half dimes.
That's crazy. It was called a half dime.
Half dime. Well, because a dime was 10 cents, so a half dime was 5 cents. And they were both made out of silver. And they looked exactly the same, except the half dime was half the size of the dime. Well, this is the first time that we really kind of made a contiguous nickel, a 5-cent coin that wasn't silver.
And it was called nickel because it was made of nickel?
Because it was made of nickel. I mean, there's no other reason to call a 5-cent coin a nickel.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, there's no other name for nickel.
Well, because since then we think that the word nickel means 5 cents,
It
but
never did. It's only a nickel because of this coin right here. And so these coins are all going to be like 1860s on this particular coin. And so what you have is some of the rarest, most desirable coins that are absolutely, positively historic. Out of nowhere, this coin is one of the single most difficult to get vintage American coins in the market today. Is what's called a shield nickel that you have right here. It comes in this nice little jewelry box that we have here. And let me see what this one is. So this one is 1868.
And you get a certificate of authenticity. If somebody buys more than one, do you try to give them different dates?
We'll do our best. And I think we have 3 or 4 or 5 different dates with this. So.
Because I know sometimes you can do that.
Yeah, and then if you see the stars on the reverse here, and then where it says 5, you know, right there, and it was really interesting. It says 5 cents on it. You know, they had, and then they started making the Liberty nickel. They put a Liberty head on the nickel in 1883. So these were made from the Civil War basically to 1883. And the first one, they just put a V on the back without the word cents. And so, you know, understand there wasn't any internet or anything in 1883. And so there was guys that would gold plate that and pass them off as $5 gold coins.
There wasn't any internet in 1983.
That's right, let alone 1883. And so information was scarce, so they would gold plate these no-cent nickels from 1885 and pass them off as $5 gold coins.
I just wondered, like,
they're called racketeer nickels.
How do you get those? That's always like why you shop at HSN for coins.
You know,
is because you source them. It's the sourcing them that's the hard part,
we
right?
source them. I know a guy that has, I know the shield nickel guy.
The shield nickel guy,
There's a guy that does each and every one of these kind of weird coins like this.
Right.
So I mean, you want pennies that are like the old Flying Eagle cents that are copper nickel, the Indian head cents that were copper nickel.
Yeah.
You know, that's a special thing. Well, there's a copper nickel penny guy. You know, there's a shield nickel guy. You know, and so you have to know the guys, and we know all the guys, and we finally had enough of these
to do a presentation.
I mean, because you buy 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 at a time.
Right.
And so now I have was able to put together over about a year. This is the first time I've ever sold this on HSN in 25 years. I've never sold an individual shield nickel.
I've never physically seen this before.
I think we may have had them on hsn.com because I never had more than maybe 10 in stock. Never had more than maybe 10 of these in stock. And so now I had enough to go out so that everybody can put one of these incredibly
and these are really affordable for such a collectible.
Incredible. You'd think this is $100 or $200 or $500 or something like that. And so it's like, I always say, you can read about history in a book, or you can visit history in a museum, or you can just hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
For the cost of admission to a museum.
There it is, the very first coin that is worth 5 cents, called a nickel.
That was made out of nickel.
That was made
now,
out of nickel.
Now, we had 3-cent nickels before this. That were the 3-cent coins. We had 3-cent silvers and 3-cent nickels.
And they were made out of nickel.
And that's why they called them 3-cent nickels.
Okay, but
and
these
so
are
this
the
is a 5-cent nickel. Okay.
Oh, wow, okay. It's
very first one.
By the way, you've said this many times, Mike, the coin people, not a complicated group.
We're not.
So, nickel?
Okay,
No, it's
nickel.
called
We'll call it, what's it made out of? Nickel? That's what we'll call it.
Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, the item number is 906859. I've been doing coins with Mike for 17 years. I've never seen this in person. So incredible. There's fewer than 300, and that's how many, we need to get a few in order to do a presentation. So these will all sell out, and then, maybe another 25.